Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the CrossFit Update Studios. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez, taking a look back at 18.3 from the men's side of things. And you had a really great analogy when we were talking about this earlier, but this workout really sort of banded everybody together with one common purpose, and that was to finish 2 rounds.
Yeah, I felt like all the games athletes kind of grouped together like the Avengers. It was like a preview of Infinity Wars coming out pretty soon, and Castro was Thanos, all of them taking the challenge, like, hey, one of us has to take this workout down and finish it. It was kind of cool to see everyone kind of rally behind that goal and, you know, see a couple people actually do it.
Yeah, we had 2 men who finished 2 rounds inside the 14-minute time cap. First, it was Josh Bridges. He was at 13:59. Then Dakota Rager comes along more than 30 seconds faster at 13:25. Nobody finished it for the women, but Tia-Clair Toomey did have the best score at 918 reps. And Dakota Rager, that was an amazing performance. If you get a chance to watch the video, I mean, it is flawless. And, man, he needed that.
Oh, man, he did. He was in 50th place coming into this week. This moves him up to 40th, but still has some work to do. But every year, there's a performance that comes along in the Open that kind of forces us to reframe what we think is possible, you know, fitness-wise. And I think this was one of it on the men's side from Dakota. You look at just how amazing this performance was. He did 13 bar muscle-ups first off in the first round, maybe just added an extra one in for good measure. Had a negative split from the first round to the second round. That means he got faster in the second round than he did, speeding up those transitions as well. I just couldn't believe that even after all of this was said and done, in a workout that no one else besides him and Josh Bridges finished, he walks off standing tall. The camera comes up to him. He's just like, yeah, you know, I'm good.
Barely breathing hard.
Yeah, not even an issue for him. So a fantastic performance from him, and one I'm sure we'll be talking about for the rest of the year.
And 18.3 really did what it was supposed to do, and that was separation. The elite were really able to separate themselves from everybody else, and now the overall leaderboard looks a little more like you would expect at this point.
And I think this is the kind of workout that encapsulates the beauty of the programming of the Open. And hats off to Dave Castro and the people that program it, because it hits on multiple levels. For the young people who maybe don't have all the skills in the tank, it's a great opportunity for them to dangle out the possibility of maybe getting your first pull-up or your first ring muscle-up. For those of us who maybe have the skills but not the capacity, it's okay. Hey, time to test these high-skill movements under fatigue and see how well you can hold up. And then for the top athletes, like we've seen, this is really just a huge litmus test. Can you finish this workout? How hard can you push the red line? And we're going to dangle this carrot from Castro. Hey, let's see, can anyone do this? You know, and it also allows them to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. So it does a great job of hitting on all levels and being an adequate test that I wouldn't be surprised to see again in the future.
Yeah, and speaking of separation, that's exactly what we have at the top of the men's overall leaderboard as Matt Fraser continues to run away with this thing. Nearly 300 points up on second place, Alex Vigneault. Patrick Vellner is in there at 6th place, and then Logan Collins, a Games veteran, Michael Palombo, who was there last year as well. But some new names in there. We're going to talk about those in a second, but George Sterner, 19 years old, sits in 3rd place, and this kid is really coming into his own.
He really is, and we've seen this steady progression from him from when he first showed up at the Games a couple of years ago as a teenager and taking 2nd. Last year, finishes 18th worldwide in the Open, goes on to regionals as an 18-year-old and takes 9th in a stacked central region. And you start to think, okay, it's only a matter of time before this kid finds his man strength and really kind of takes flight, and he's doing that right now. 3rd worldwide in the Open. Just another tremendous performance in 18.3. I think this is an opportunity where we always talk about the future being very close with these teenage athletes. It's here and it's now, and George is in a great position to knock off some of the big names come Central Regional time, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to the Games this year.
George Sterner is definitely going to be one to watch. And if you're hanging out around the top 15, top 20 in the overall leaderboard in the Open after 3 weeks, you are clearly legit. And there are a lot of new names up there, but who's caught your eye the most right now?
Well, every year we talk about this is some new athletes, either on the men or women's side, show up in the top 10 of the Open leaderboard and then go on to qualify as a rookie at the CrossFit Games. So this really is a great stepping stool for them to make it to the Games. And we have 3 athletes. Willie George, who's currently the fittest man in France, could be the guy to break the streak of the France, Spain, that area of Europe, finally making it through to the Games. Then you have a guy in Jean-Simon Roy-Lemaire and Alexander Caron, both 2 beasts out of Canada East, maybe continuing that French-Canadian contingent of having a presence at the Games. Both of them are very young, have experience as individuals at regionals as well. And then you have a guy in Jake Marconi that you just can't ignore sitting down in 9th as well. when all the fake scores or the misrepresented
Right.
scores in this workout come out, he's going to be top 5 worldwide in this score. He's only 21 years old, or 20 years old. He's going to be 21 by games time, and he's sitting at the top of the open leaderboard, maybe filling the gap that Matt Fraser left behind in the Northeast. And the average age between all of these guys is 23 years old.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh man, there's some young guys that are coming up that are fit.
Yeah, the 2 oldest guys in the top 10 are Fraser and Vellner, and they are only 28 years old. So this is obviously a young man's game. Since week number 1, we've been updating you on some athletes who maybe put themselves in a bit of a hole as far as regionals are concerned and how they've been working their way back up. And great week for all of them to do that. Brent Fikowski was on the outside looking in Canada West. Not the case anymore. Dakota Rager, he moved up 10 spots in the Central East thanks to his win. Still a little work for him to do, though, to be safe. Elijah Muhammad continues to climb, as is Cody Mooney. And James Newberry is now 39th to 30th in Australasia. And Newberry was a guy after week 1 that was kind of left for dead. I mean, we kind of buried that guy, and now he is right back where you'd expect him to be.
Yeah, a rough start to 2018, with a 116th place finish in 18.1, admittedly coming back from a shoulder injury. Maybe his focusing on strength left him in a position where his overall fitness wasn't quite where he expected it to be, being a multi-year games athlete. But he's come back, had a 35th place finish in 18.2, a 56th place finish in 18.3, which is enough to move him up the leaderboard into a qualifying spot in Australasia. Now you just hope he can hold on, continue this trend of slowly moving up. He may not be in the final heat to start come regionals time, but I think it's nice to see an athlete in James work his way back into the top despite a tough finish, and the resiliency is what you expect out of a games caliber athlete like James.
Yeah, and again for regionals, man, just get in and then anything can happen. Here are your overall leaders now in the other age groups. Dallin Pepper in the 16 to 17-year-old division is flirting with a spot at regionals. He's 39th right now in the Southwest. He climbs a little higher. He might get himself in there. Bill Grundler continues to lead in the 45 to 49-year-old division. Then David Hippensteel is your leader for the 60-plus athletes. 18.4 is this Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific time from Goodyear, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. Bjorven Carl Gudmundsson and Scott Panchik right next to each other on the overall leaderboard at the 2017 Reebok CrossFit Games. We'll have that live on the CrossFit Games Facebook page or on games.crossfit.com. If you haven't already, download the app. It's on the App Store or on Google Play, and now it has the track a friend feature. You can track somebody that you're stalking anyway, and now you can put them on your homepage and you can see exactly how they're doing. So when you open the app, that'll be right there in front of you. That is going to do it for us for today. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland, and before we leave, we want to show you one of the best things that came out of 18.3. A group of athletes, Travis Williams, Brent Fikowski, Joe Scally, just among a few of them, have this challenge to where the loser of the open workout amongst them has to have a punishment. Travis Williams' punishment this week, a love letter to Dave Castro. Enjoy.
Barbells were steel and chalk was white. I have longed for you to love through every night. Every handstand I push, every clean I power. I dream you will look to me and take my flower. Your voice warms my heart when you announce the workouts, your beautiful whiteboard art. So clear, leaving no doubts, you've been speaking right to me. Sweet nothings in my ear, whispering so softly, all the things I want to hear. Oh Dave, sweet Dave, I'm your biggest fan. You'll never lose, oh Castro, my Castro, we should be together too. Don't let age, distant, orientation, or your professional career keep us apart. You know this is right. You know it in your heart. So give me a call or slide into my DM. I'll be waiting for you until the bitter end.